you guys may know, we actually started doing kickboxing and Muay Thai. You know that Louis starts in. Louis explains everything that goes on with kickboxing. But right now, let's just take it back to the root of this channel. As you guys may or may not know, depending on how long you've been watching us, I'm not really a big fan of conventional wisdom. I like to really let fighters kind of express themselves and kind of work with their talent. Of course, the fundamentals are always a big aspect of the sport. Any sport you're learning, the fundamentals are always the most important thing you're going to learn. So today we're just going to cover conventional wisdom mistakes. When you follow things from the book, there are a lot of simple mistakes that a lot of people in a lot of gyms would consider wrong. And so these are probably the top 3 most conventional wisdom errors. So a lot of people that follow this conventional wisdom, one of their biggest problem with amateurs or people starting in the sport is having their hands down. All right, so this is a problem for a lot of people. Let's just say my right arm is down, right, and I just have one hand up. So let's say he keeps on tagging me with the hook. All right, so you know a lot of people that follow this conventional wisdom say, oh, that's already a mistake. One of the errors that a lot of coaches, a lot of people that really like to follow conventional wisdom really like to pounce on your hands down. Think about it, man. There are fighters that get away with it. Let's say, Dominic Cruz, sometimes Conor McGregor,
Mike Perry.
You see those fighters, okay? And then like in boxing, you have fighters like Sergio Martinez, Roy Jones in his prime that does this. And the thing that they have in common is that their athleticism. All right, so a lot of these guys, they're quick. I'm not saying that having your hands down is the right way to approach things, is the right way to fight or anything, because I do believe that you also have to keep your hands up. But if you could get away with it, that's one thing that you guys have to keep in mind. Going back to athleticism, a second problem that a lot of people that follow conventional wisdom have is those fighters that are very, say, like linear, like they just want to go straight forward without no head movement. These are the fighters that a lot of people like to consider punching bags. Then these are fighters like Brandon Rios, Nate Diaz, Rusem Pravovnikov. Like they don't really create movement. They just want to be there and they just want to slug it out. A lot of these guys are very entertaining to watch. These are the guys that the fans love because they always want to engage in some type of battle, but it's also very costly. Yeah. Like a lot of these fighters really, they have fight of the year candidates, but and like Joe Rogan said it best, man. It's kind of sad to watch some of these fighters fight because you know all that psychological problems that it could cause later on in life. These are the guys that like clinching and fighting, but these guys take a lot of punishment. Boom, a lot of punishment. You guys always see these guys always right here. You guys never really see them step to the side or do a lateral step. These guys are always right here. These fighters are the fighters that are very appealing to the fans. Like these are the casual fans want to see. Yeah. These are the fighters that, like damn, like
banging,
they're banging. Yeah, exactly, standing and banging. They're never in boring fights, but they take a lot of punishment. And a lot of coaches have a problem with this because they're just coming straight forward without really using other components of the sport. These guys just want to stay there and trade.
And these guys, they have entertaining fights of the year, like Diego Sanchez, Gabriel Melendez. That's kind of a perfect example. But these guys kind of don't live as long as they should because all the CTE, all the brain trauma, all the concussions. Many times with the young fighters, they have granite chin that are able to take these punches, and like they take these punches, they're like, oh fuck yeah, he punched me once, I push him back, and then like it becomes kind of like an ego thing, a pride thing that you kind of want to outslug if that's their opponent.
And come back to our third point. Another problem that a lot of people that follow conventional wisdom have is coaches always have to deal with fighters that like to throw wide punches. Okay, if I throw a hook right here, right? Boom. Okay, first of all, since it's short, it's sweet, he can't really react to it. I mean, yeah, he could block it. So if I throw a wide punch, he sees this way more than he sees this. If I throw it all the way right here, look what he could. Yeah, exactly. Besides that, he could tag me, or he could, if he doesn't want to tag me, he could just see the punch and roll under it, or pivot, or pivot. And as you guys saw there, he could have pivoted as well, for the mere fact that this is a lot of distance. This is a lot of things to do. You could think about it, man. You could probably pivot back, and then pivot again. You guys saw too. If I throw these wide punches, he's able to see it and land a punch of his own. Boom. It doesn't matter what it is. But then again, this is all conventional wisdom as well, because there are always exceptions, man. Sometimes you do have to throw some wide punches. Like a lot of these overhand rights are also, they're wide punches, man. They come right here and then they come over here, boom. And these punches, a lot of times don't see them. I always tell people, man, conventional wisdom is just there to show you guys fundamentals, but there's always exceptions. Sometimes there is a necessity to throw these wide punches, especially if you want to throw some sneaky shots, because sometimes a lot of these fighters don't expect this. I just like to say that all of this is very conventional. There's always exceptions. Of course, I still follow the fundamentals. Of course, if I see my fighter being tagged and tagged with, and he has his hands down, then I'm gonna have to tell him to make that adjustment, bring his hands down, or I have to be able to know my fighters to see what adjustments I have to make, because I'm not gonna let somebody that's slower or has slower reflexes fight with their hands down. That'd be stupid of me, because I know he or she would get tagged. It just really comes down to the way you adjust and knowing your fighters and what they're capable of.